fight fans? It's your main man, Made Man, back at it again, and y'all know how I get down over here. We talking boxing. Now, Ruslan Provodnikov and Chris Algieri, ladies and gentlemen. Upset. Ruslan loses his 140-pound title to the young up-and-coming journeyman, ladies and gentlemen. Now newly crowned 140-pound WBO champion Chris Algieri, ladies and gentlemen, remaining undefeated at that. Former kickboxer, ladies and gentlemen, a guy who had pretty much no amateur fights, ladies and gentlemen, coming out of the woodworks, supposed to be a fighter that Ruslan's supposed to walk through. I mean, it was on full display at the Barclays Center. Very big arena, ladies and gentlemen. So this was a fight that was supposed to bring the Russian Ruslan here to the United States, here in Brooklyn. I mean, not here, but in Brooklyn, New York, to display him to the boxing world for those who didn't know him. And I mean, got outboxed, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people are saying that Ruslan possibly even got robbed in this fight. I disagree heavily. I definitely think Chris Algieri won this fight and won this fight beautifully. First off, hats off to him for overcoming the adversity that he had to overcome in this fight. I mean, sustaining a thunderous left hook by Ruslan Provodnikov to Algieri. I mean, it was beautiful. Closing the eye. I mean, the swelling started right away the minute that the punch landed almost, stunning him, knocking him across the ring. So, he got up from that knockdown, ladies and gentlemen, took a knee on the second knockdown. According to Algieri in the post-fight interview, he did that because he did not understand the situation that was going on with his eye. So, because that second knockdown did not look like it was, in my opinion, the results of a punch. I mean, maybe he was still buzzed from the first knockdown, but definitely maybe because of the eye, because the eye swelled so fast, closed so fast, ladies and gentlemen. But the fact is, Ruslan Provodnikov then clearly from that point downward started to get outboxed, ladies and gentlemen. Algieri used the jab beautifully, kept moving. He sustained most of his damage up against the ropes. But once he was moving, using the jab, controlling the distance, not fighting Ruslan's fight, not brawling at all, not making a phone booth fight at all, he did it, and he did it beautifully, ladies and gentlemen. This is a former kickboxer, so he uses movement in his style, ladies and gentlemen, and he used it very well against Ruslan. Ruslan made great attempts to cut off the ring, but just couldn't cut off the ring and figure out how to get past the jab of Algieri, trying to get in there close and land those bombs. But I thought Ruslan fought very well when he started to lean off with the jab and then try to get a little close and then try to throw some of his power shots. But he kind of abandoned that, roughly about round 5 on down, midway through the fight. He started to abandon that, lower his hands a lot more, and stop leading off with the jab. The body work ceased to exist. I mean, the first few rounds, Ruslan was looking gorgeous going to the body. I mean, the body shots I thought would have been the thing that would have slowed Algieri down, but Ruslan, however, stopped really going to the body midway through the fight, ladies and gentlemen. But Algieri, once again, fighting a marvelous fight, controlling pace, distance, being the smarter fighter, maybe not being the harder puncher. Ruslan certainly was the harder puncher in this fight, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, look at the damage. He rearranged Algieri's face, but that's what you got to do to win a championship, ladies and gentlemen. To be the champion, you will sustain damage in that nature if he's a true champion. But Ruslan, I mean, rearranged that man's face all over the place, but like I said, got outboxed. What can you do? What can you do? I mean, if Freddie Roach, I don't know. I didn't hear much coaching from Freddie Roach to give to Ruslan Provodnikov about going to the body more, like he did in the first, in the first round and the first few rounds for that matter. I didn't hear much from Freddie Roach stating, use the body more, go to the body more, nothing of that nature. So I just didn't understand it. But Ruslan got outboxed, and I just do not think it was as controversial as a lot of people are even making it. I mean, honestly, if you go back and look at that fight, you'll see that fight. Algieri won that fight by at least a minimum of 3 to 4 rounds, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, easily. I mean, and that's giving Ruslan 3 rounds because of the 3-point knockdown, basically. I mean, he knocked him down twice in 1 round, so that was a 7-10 round. So that was 3 rounds he was down already. But even in that case, Algieri still, to me, 3 to 4 round margin. I mean, I'm sorry, he outboxed Ruslan. I mean, like I said, if you're a fan of the harder punchers, the more signature punches, the ones that has the snap, I guess you're on the side of Ruslan. But I mean, you cannot land 5 to 6 of those style of punches per round and get outboxed for majority of the round and say the round was close. I mean, sure, they were pity-pat punches, you know, when that Algieri was throwing, but not all his punches, honestly. Sometimes he did put a lot of snapping juice on his punches. He turned it on and he turned it off when he wanted. I mean, another pretty much showing of the winner. I mean, when you're the winner, you do these type of things. He turned it off, he turned it on, he conserved his strength. He showed great stamina. I thought he also showed a good chin because he ate a lot of hard punches from Ruslan. It just wasn't enough. It just wasn't many. And with lack of body work, you know, it pretty much was almost an easy night with the exception of the closed eye for Algieri. So hats off to Algieri. Newly crowned champion. It's going to be interesting to see who they pair him up with next in that 140-pound division. We all know Danny Garcia is also the title holder at 140. Danny Garcia is looking to leave 140 and move on over to 147. So, I mean, that leaves still other fighters in that division. That is a very, very competitive division. Algieri, you know, any of the pretty much top names would love to get a shot. This could be a road back for Lucas Matisse to possibly get a belt back. This could be a road for Adrian Broner to possibly get into the ring with him and maybe grab a belt at 140. But I mean, Algieri has something going for him. He has height and he has length, ladies and gentlemen, and he's a great jabber. And he has good hand speed as well. So he's going to be dangerous for a lot of fighters. Maybe not power wise, but as far as outboxing a lot of boxers, he's going to give a lot of boxers problems, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, not having an amateur career, I mean, the kickboxing clearly makes up for that. I mean, he's been in full contact sports, so, you know, his reflexes and things of that nature have been groomed, have been trained. So he will be, you know, he's been trained to sustain damage. So yeah, as we see, you know, a closed eye wasn't enough to stop this kid from winning this fight, you know. So it'll be interesting to see who they pair him up with. I mean, Ruslan Provodnikov, though, on the other hand, I mean, he's an A-room fighter. We all know that. So the fights are very limited for Ruslan. But, I mean, by him taking this loss, I mean, could possibly have limited him some more. But, however, with the style of Ruslan Provodnikov, it still will provide an exciting fight, you know, whoever you pair him up with. I mean, if you can get him in there with Matisse, if you can get him in there with Broner, I think that would be a good fight. Adrian Broner and Ruslan Provodnikov, I think that would be an excellent fight. You know, but it'll be interesting to see who they pair him up with. Like I said, he's an A-room fighter, so going across the aisle to either the former Golden Boy fighters, you know, that's not possible. Maybe with the Golden Boy fighters, but at 140, I'm not sure if Golden Boy has anyone worth mentioning, honestly. I mean, I hate to go there, but the fact is, like I said before, Ruslan Provodnikov's future is going to be honestly, it's going to be unpredictable. No one, it's hard to say what, because even in this particular fight, he couldn't land the big name that he wanted, such as a Juan Manuel Marquez, possibly, or you know, he said he would not fight Manny Pacquiao, so that's pretty much out. These are all A-room fighters, but you know, he's already beaten Mike Alvarado, so I mean, who are we talking? Brandon Rios, possibly Brandon Rios and Ruslan Provodnikov. I can see that coming, but you know, it's going to be interesting to see what he does. But this fight shows us there's nothing special about Ruslan, ladies and gentlemen. He's sheer power. You know what I mean? He's based on power, but we know even in his previous losses, his two losses that he has previously, he lost to Timothy Bradley, who was a great technical, agile boxer, as well as he lost to Mauricio Herrera, who's also a good technical, agile boxer. So, I mean, evidently, Ruslan Provodnikovs have problems with agile boxer. Chris Algieri is a very agile boxer. So it's going to be interesting. If you do not fight Ruslan's fight, the phone booth haymaker fight, pretty much, you know, you have a good chance of beating Ruslan Provodnikov. But he has a stellar chin, so knocking him down or knocking him out is hard for anyone. But however, once again, hats off to Chris Algieri. It's going to be interesting to see who he fights next. And, you know, I'm going to leave it at that. So, to the next video, ladies and gentlemen, it's your main man, Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe. Those who also follow me on Twitter at MadeMan511. I'll see y'all there.